I've never seen such biased parents. They let their eldest son live in a room filled with a fridge and clutter. At mealtimes, the tasty food never reaches him. Even the family dog ranks higher, enjoying meals prepared by their mother. The eldest son, named Lee Goon, was once bitten by the dog, and his father even suspected him of biting the dog. Lee Goon, a once promising tennis player, saw his hopes dashed in a crucial match when he injured his wrist saving his younger brother from a flying racket. This ended his sports career, leaving his parents worried after spending much money on his training. With Lee Goon unable to play, they forced him to stay home and sent his brother to the coach instead. Desperate not to give up his dream, Lee Goon chased after his parents' taxi, tripping and dropping his medal into a river. He fell in too, and was rescued by a girl. Years later, as an adult, Lee Goon met a girl on a plane. Trying to help her clean a wine stain, he ended up pressing her temporary front tooth out during turbulence. Back on the ground, Lee Goon had to pretend to be his brother, now a national tennis idol, to distract the fans at the airport. However, the fans quickly realized the deception and chased after his brother. Leaving the airport, Lee Goon accidentally swapped luggage with Kyung-Ju-yeon, the girl from the plane. As he finally sorted the luggage into the car, the driver sped off, forgetting to wait for him. Forgotten Lee Goon had no choice but to walk home alone, stepping on gum along the way. Arriving home, his worn fabric shoes contrasted starkly with his brother's clean tennis shoes. At home, Lee Goon felt uneasy. He had no status in the family, living in a room cluttered with a fridge full of pickles and miscellaneous items. During meals, his mother would serve the choice pieces of chicken to his brother first, leaving Lee Goon with a small bowl of picked-over chicken breast, instructing him to feed the dog first. Frustrated, Lee Goon grabbed the dog, calling it stupid, which led it to bite him fiercely. His father's first reaction was to feel sorry for the dog. In both his personal and professional life, Lee Goon was extremely cautious, yet he was still overlooked. A colleague ordered him to photocopy documents, throwing the files everywhere and mocking him for leeching off his brother. Lee Goon endured these humiliations silently, his old injury flaring up painfully. He stumbled to the hospital for help, where he was treated by Kyung-Ju-yeon, a psychiatrist. Lee Goon asked her for painkillers, but Kyung-Ju-yeon diagnosed his hand pain as psychosomatic due to nerve fatigue, suggesting treatment could help over time. However, Lee Goon's past traumas weren't so easily explained or healed. After treatment, his hand gradually improved, and Lee Goon left the hospital. Just as he left, Kyung-Ju-yeon noticed the name Lee Goon had registered with. He was the person who had taken her suitcase by mistake. Earlier, she had seen her suitcase with Lee Goon's name on it at the airport, realizing they had swapped by accident. She called him to retrieve her suitcase. Lee Goon, not taking it seriously, promised to return it within a week. After much thought, Kyung-Ju-yeon sent him a message apologizing for her earlier words and offered him treatment at the hospital whenever needed. Lee Goon read the message and promised to bring the suitcase to the hospital the next day. Relieved, Kyung-Ju-yeon focused on her research, aimed at erasing bad memories that could cause psychological trauma. Her research was nearing completion, and she planned to present it at an upcoming academic seminar. Essential to her presentation were the research materials in the suitcase. On the day of the seminar, while waiting for Lee Goon, she encountered a distressing situation. A colleague approached her with a box of lab rats, slipped, and the box flew open, releasing the rats. They chased after the rats, trying to recapture them. Just as Lee Goon's car arrived at the entrance, the automatic doors opened, and a rat ran out, tragically getting crushed by the wheels. This rat was significant to Kyung-Ju-yeon. To Lee Goon, who was unaware of the situation, it was just an ordinary rat. He apologized and offered to pay for the damage. Kyung-Ju-yeon's days of research were ruined in an instant, infuriating her. She cruelly pointed out Lee Goon's pain, cursing him to never escape his past memories until death. After reprimanding Lee Goon, she returned to the seminar to explain to investors and hospital executives that the lab rat, specimen number 107, had died, and she needed another 100 days to conduct human trials. Heartbroken by Kyung-Ju-yeon's words, Lee Goon felt a stabbing pain, and tears fell continuously. Unaware of his long-standing low self-esteem, his family and others actually cared for him. His parents left a whole chicken in the pot when he overslept. His brother decided not to renew his contract with his agency after witnessing their disrespectful behavior. A young female tennis player who idolized him used a childhood photo of him playing tennis as her wallpaper for motivation. Overwhelmed with sadness, Lee Goon accidentally fell into a river and was injured. He was rushed to the hospital for emergency treatment. Seeing Lee Goon unconscious, Kyung-Ju-yeon was filled with guilt, thinking her harsh words had impacted him. During surgery, his negative memories were slowly erased. Waking up, he mistook Kyung-Ju-yeon for his first love and embraced her excitedly, thinking she was his long-lost love. Post-surgery, Lee Goon developed a narcissistic personality, believing flies were attracted by his beauty. The brain surgery halted the function of his amygdala, erasing all his bad memories. Kyung-Ju-yeon should have been excited like the other doctors, but she couldn't smile. Waking up, Lee Goon excitedly hugged her, mistaking her for his first love, and even made a heart gesture during an examination, startling Kyung-Ju-yeon. She was worried about potential surgical side effects and decided to discreetly monitor his condition. Post-surgery, Lee Goon became narcissistic and humorous, often joking about his parents who were concerned about his injuries. He boasted about his perfection. His memories stayed at the moment he was in the finals of a youth competition, forgetting everything that happened after his victory. To soothe him, his family lied about him falling down the stairs, causing temporary amnesia. The brain surgery was also a research experiment initiated by his brother, who learned about the memory erasure project and requested the surgery for Lee Goon after the accident. Doctors advised the family not to let Lee Goon recall past events or meet familiar people, as it could lead to side effects. However, Lee Goon seems happy, absorbed in his own world. He believes that the flies around him are attracted by his handsomeness. While having his blood pressure taken, he narcissistically thinks the nurse has fallen for him. He makes heart gestures at girls he sees in the hospital. When Lee Goon spots Kyung-Ju-yeon in the hospital corridor, he pulls her into a small room to chat. Kyung-Ju-yeon firmly denies being his first love, stating they are just doctor and patient. While they talk, the sound of a female doctor flirting with her boyfriend over the phone is heard outside. Lee Goon stares at Kyung-Ju-yeon with a mischievous smile, fantasizing based on the doctor's description. Hearing noises, the female doctor wants to check the storage room. To avoid misunderstandings, Kyung-Ju-yeon hides Lee Goon in a laundry basket filled with dirty clothes and pretends she was just on the phone as she leaves the room. After Kyung-Ju-yeon leaves, Lee Goon can't stay in the hospital and goes home. He takes a bath, changes into stylish clothes, and dresses up the family dog. Seeing tennis rackets everywhere, he thinks it's his room. His brother, to avoid upsetting him, hides his own photos and lies that everything in the room belongs to Lee Goon. Believing his family, Lee Goon thinks he became his brother's agent after retiring and feels fulfilled and happy. After hearing from his parents, Lee Goon picks a luxury car from the garage and drives back to the hospital stylishly to change his dressing. The nurse reminds him not to leave the hospital without permission next time and mentions that Kyung-Ju-yeon hasn't rested since his surgery. Meanwhile, Kyung-Ju-yeon confesses to a male doctor that there's a problem with Lee Goon's memory, as he mistook her for his first love. She recalls wiping a tear from his eye during surgery, which might have led to his memory being altered. The male doctor, who has known Lee Goon's family for years and has been his primary doctor, believes the memory wipe gave Lee Goon a chance for rebirth. He advises Kyung-Ju-yeon not to rush to end the experiment and to find a solution to the memory issue. Kyung-Ju-yeon returns to her busy office. Her mother calls, complaining about her all-work, no-love life and messy habits, even teasing her about her small chest. Kyung-Ju-yeon, noticing Lee Goon laughing, quickly ends the call. After hearing the nurse's words, Lee Goon thoughtfully brings her hot milk. In his eyes, Kyung-Ju-yeon is his first love, caring and hardworking, who refuses to go home despite the workload. Lee Goon declared that even if Kyung-Ju-yeon had forgotten their past, he would still remember everything they went through together. The next day, a young female athlete who idolized Lee Goon learned he was hospitalized and injured, and visited him at the hospital with a new tennis racket as a gift. During their chat, she asked why he suddenly retired and lost his past medals. The mention of medals triggered a headache in Lee Goon, and flashes of memories surged in his mind. Seconds later, he collapsed. Hearing the news, Ju-yeon rushed over. Lee Goon was still unconscious when his friend arrived and explained to Ju-yeon that Lee Goon had attended a school reunion he initially refused to go to, but ended up attending spontaneously. At the reunion, he saw a medal he once owned and learned that the girl who had it had just left. He chased after her, thinking she might be his long-lost first love. However, he was heartbroken to see her kissing her brother in the parking lot, realizing his love was taken away by his brother again. Alone, he went to a bridge to cry. From his friend's explanation, Ju-yeon realized first love became a painful memory for Lee-gun, leading him to choose to erase these bad memories. During a surgery, when she accidentally touched his face, it triggered a reconstruction of his memories, making him believe Ju-yeon was his first love. But for Lee-gun, it wasn't just the hurt from his first love. It was also the cold treatment from his parents. Before the incident, the family was having a cozy dinner. His grandmother, knowing Lee-gun liked soy-marinated crab, sent some to them. His parents, thinking only of his brother's nutritional needs as an athlete, gave all the delicious crab to him. Lee-gun, resentful, took the crab back from his brother's bowl. His mother scolded him for his aimless life and envy of his brother's food. His father intervened, asking her to understand Lee-gun's feelings as his life felt overshadowed by his brother. Hurt by his parents' preferential treatment, Lee-gun was deeply wounded. Now, with lost memories, his mother wanted to be a good mom to him. That night after waking up, Lee-gun walked to the tennis court with his racket for some air. Ju-yeon, also upset, noticed a tear in his eye. Lee-gun denied feeling down, saying his heart felt empty without tennis. Ju-yeon encouraged him to start anew, whether in dreams or love. Just then, an automatic ball machine shot out a ball, which Lee-gun, using his previously injured right hand, caught swiftly, protecting Ju-yeon. Seeing that he had forgotten his past pain and could use his right hand adeptly, Ju-yeon knew she couldn't let him remember his old agony. To heal Lee-gun, she admitted she was his first love. Meanwhile, police identified Lee-gun's brother. In a surgery, Lee-gun had all his painful past memories erased, leaving only the happiest ones. He mistook his attending physician as his first love and lifesaver. Lee-gun not only posed with flowers in front of Kyung-ju-yeon, but also appeared with an umbrella in the rain. Seeing the joyful Lee-gun in front of her, Kyung-ju-yeon couldn't bear to hurt him, but pretending to be his first love was not easy. Lee-gun quickly introduced Kyung-ju-yeon to his parents as his lifesaver. Grateful, they shook her hand, swearing to treat her well for life. Kyung-ju-yeon regretted this, as the role of a lifesaver was significant, and she dared not falsely claim it. She wanted to set boundaries with Lee-gun. However, Lee-gun approached from behind with background music and pedal effects, holding a bright rose to confess his love. Kyung-ju-yeon replied that she had a boyfriend. Realizing something was off, Lee-gun noted that Kyung-ju-yeon, a workaholic, was always at the hospital, with colleagues joking she had always been single. Kyung-ju-yeon continued her lie, saying she just started secretly dating a doctor at the hospital named Tae-woo, who was actually her unrequited love. Kyung-ju-yeon's lie was flawless, and Lee-gun believed her but couldn't accept it, trying to sabotage. When Kyung-ju-yeon and Tae-woo were chatting, Lee-gun threw a shoe at his rival. At lunch, Lee-gun ordered from several famous takeouts, overshadowing the cafeteria meals. Despite the tempting food, Kyung-ju-yeon remained unmoved. While food lover Tae-woo sat opposite Lee-gun to eat, Kyung-ju-yeon got up to leave but was accidentally bumped, dirtying her clothes. Lee-gun stepped forward with concern, while Tae-woo only had eyes for the food. Observing Tae-woo's indifference to Kyung-ju-yeon, Lee-gun, while chatting with a nurse, inquired about Tae-woo and learned he gave Kyung-ju-yeon a cheap Eiffel Tower keychain, a common gift among the hospital staff given on birthdays. Frustrated with Tae-woo's stinginess, Kyung-ju-yeon cherished the keychain, unaware that everyone had one. One day, as she walked along the road, a car sped by. It was Lee-gun's Lee Shin who had arrived at the hospital. Kyung-ju-yeon picked up a ball that fell from his backpack, scolding him for speeding and playing with balls on the road. Impatient, Lee Shin asked her to throw the ball back. When he jumped to catch it, balls spilled from his backpack, rolling down the slope. To stop them, Kyung-ju-yeon stretched out on the ground, using her body to catch most of the balls. Just then, Tae-woo and colleagues passed by, and Kyung-ju-yeon awkwardly explained she was doing stretching exercises. Everyone found it strange, but chose to respect the situation. They promptly helped pick up the balls back into the bag. While collecting the balls, Kyung-ju-yeon accidentally tossed her keychain in as well. When Kyung Joo-yeon returned to the office, Lee Shin followed her. After retrieving his backpack, Lee Shin gave Kyung Joo-yeon several health drinks to express his gratitude. Lee Shin has OCD and is particular about the angle of the drinks. He feels at ease only when the side with his endorsement photo is visible. Recently, Lee Shin was taken to the police station to assist with the investigation into Lee Goon's drowning incident. According to Lee Shin's statement, on the day of the incident, Lee Goon had a big fight with his family and went out alone. Lee Shin, worried about his condition, followed him quietly. He saw Lee Goon sitting helplessly on the bridge, deeply upset. Lee Shin initially wanted to give him space, but in the next second, Lee Goon fell into the water. Lee Shin quickly called for emergency help and rescued Lee Goon from the water before the rescue team arrived. The police were surprised. It is rare for someone to manage a rescue in such a short time, raising suspicions. That evening, Kyung Joo-yeon was working late at the hospital again. Exhausted by her busy schedule, she could fall asleep sitting down. Lee Goon passed by just as she could no longer hold her head up. He cushioned her head with his arm. This was the first time Lee Goon had a close look at Kyung Joo-yeon's face. He couldn't help but admire her beauty and felt an instinctive desire to protect her. Watching Kyung Joo-yeon's sleeping face, Lee Goon felt an urge to kiss her. He resisted the impulse and instead read the notes Kyung Joo-yeon had written. After a while, Kyung Joo-yeon woke up and was startled to see Lee Goon next to her. Her first concern was that Lee Goon might have seen her notes, which contained information related to his condition. Lee Goon, however, found the handwriting messy and couldn't read it clearly. Lee Goon wanted to invite Kyung Joo-yeon for late-night food. When she refused, Lee Goon pulled out a wish coupon from a previous bet. They had played rock, paper, scissors to avoid being seen together, which might cause misunderstandings. Kyung Joo-yeon lost and was supposed to hide in a laundry basket. Knowing she didn't want to, Lee Goon went himself, on the condition that Kyung Joo-yeon fulfill one of his wishes. Thus, Kyung Joo-yeon had to accept the invitation to join Lee Goon for a late-night meal. During this private moment, Lee Goon pointed out that Kyung Joo-yeon's taste in men was poor. A girl like her should find a devoted and passionate man. He had seen Tae-woo being intimate with another woman, arguing that such a man was not worth her emotional investment. Kyung Joo-yeon countered, saying Tae-woo sent her countless caring texts every day, showing his concern and care. On the other hand, Lee Goon was still hung up on his first love and should move on to embrace a new life. For Lee Goon, being rescued from the water by his first love was a past event, but his first love continued to be present in his heart. Kyung Joo-yeon realized how important the term first love was to Lee Goon. After they parted, she rarely went home to rest. The next morning, she found a stranger in her bed, Se-yeon, the daughter of her mother's friend, who had just returned from abroad. Se-yeon was cheerful and likable, quickly winning over Kyung Joo-yeon's family and neighbors. Her presence promised to bring surprises to Kyung Joo-yeon's life. Back at the hospital, Kyung Joo-yeon noticed she had lost her keychain, a gift from Tae-woo. She searched anxiously for it. Seeing her distressed, Lee Goon mocked the keychain as cheap. Kyung Joo-yeon countered that its value lay in its sentiment, not its price. During their argument, Tae-woo called. Kyung Joo-yeon's tone softened, and she lied about being in the library. Kyung Joo-yeon searched for the keychain from day to night. Meanwhile, Tae-woo flirted with a female colleague in his car, suggesting she let Kyung Joo-yeon cover her night shift so they could date. Unbeknownst to Kyung Joo-yeon, Lee Goon, in a nearby car, overheard and felt concerned for her. He bought an identical keychain and lied that he had taken it. Noticing she was cold, he gave her his jacket. As Kyung Joo-yeon headed to the parking lot, Lee Goon followed, stopping her from seeing Tae-woo kissing the colleague. He turned her head away, insisting she only look at him. If she felt heartbroken, he would too. He forcefully kept her from looking at Tae-woo. After Tae-woo finished, he approached and offered to help Kyung Joo-yeon, clearly wanting her to cover the night shift for his date. Unaware of the specifics, Kyung Joo-yeon would likely agree to his request. Lee Goon, knowing Tae-woo's unfaithfulness, advised her against being too generous and to learn to say no. Fed up with Lee Goon's interference, Kyung Joo-yeon accused him and accidentally scratched his face. Back in the office, she felt guilty upon seeing a box of antiseptic bandages. She intended to give them to Lee Goon, but he had already left. After her night shift, she found a cup of hot coffee with a note from Tae-woo on her desk, reminding her to rest well. Today, Lee Goon accompanied his family to a tennis championship where Lee Shin competed. The agency boss handed Lee Shin new shoes sponsored by a brand and insisted he wear them, or they would reveal that he had been summoned by the police. Reluctantly, Lee Shin complied and won the match. His mother, a former athlete, noticed he was off his usual pace, unaware his new shoes had caused blisters. Lee Shin didn't want to disappoint his parents, so he silently endured the pain and promised to perform well in the finals. After leaving the tennis court, he went to a convenience store. He noticed the health drinks he endorsed were not arranged neatly, so driven by his OCD, he rearranged them to prominently display his photo. While paying, he accidentally bumped into Kyung-Ju-yeon, causing the eggs he was holding to fall and break. Seeing the broken eggs, superstitious Lee Shin felt a sudden drop in spirits, believing this meant he would lose the next day's finals. Losing would mean no prize money, disappointment from his fans, and possibly his agency terminating his contract. Kyung-Ju-yeon, realizing how superstitious Lee Shin was, tried to cheer him up by sharing a meal with him. They tried high-calorie foods like rose tteokbokki and mint chocolate, which Lee Shin wasn't allowed to eat. He had Kyung-Ju-yeon taste them and describe the flavors to him. As a professional psychiatrist, Kyung-Ju-yeon noticed Lee Shin's low spirits and encouraged him, calling him a good boy. Touched and pleased by her encouragement, Lee Shin followed the taxi Kyung-Ju-yeon took, escorting her back to the hospital while also getting in his daily exercise. Seeing his determination, Kyung-Ju-yeon told the driver to slow down, and they met up at the hospital entrance where she gently wiped the dust from his face. After saying goodbye, Lee Shin received a notification about his credit card being used, knowing it was Lee Goon. Busy all day, Lee Goon had heard he worked in athlete analysis at the agency before his amnesia and was happy to continue serving his boss. Assigned to sign a female player, Lee Goon convinced her by proposing a match against the coach's team. If they won, she would sign. Confident, Lee Goon performed surprisingly poorly during the match, either hitting his teammate with the ball or missing altogether. His hands were raw from the racket by the end. That evening, he generously treated the hospital's doctors and nurses to beef, packing extra portions for everyone. Meanwhile, Lee Shin, whose card had been used, called Lee Goon, wanting his card back. Lee Goon, nearby and fearing discovery over the keychain incident, tackled Lee Shin to the ground, jokingly explaining he was just playing around. The brothers lay under the big tree, with petals falling from above, creating a scene as beautiful as a painting. Seizing the opportunity, Lee Goon took a keychain, falsely claiming it belonged to Nurse Song. In reality, he had secretly returned a similar keychain that belonged to Nurse Song to Kyung-Ju-yeon. On this quiet night, Lee Goon reflected on his past good fortune of playing excellent tennis and finding fulfillment in the sport. Now, with no memory of those days, winning and losing no longer mattered. He resolved to pursue what truly made him happy. Lee Shin promised Lee Goon he would help him achieve his old dreams. Lee Goon declined, insisting Lee Shin had his own path to follow. After parting ways with Lee Shin, Lee Goon returned to his hospital room to rest. Waking up, he found a band-aid on his face, unaware that it was Kyung-Ju-yeon, who cared for him silently, who had placed it there. Similarly, Kyung-Ju-yeon didn't realize the comforting coffee she drank that morning was from Lee Goon, who had sent it under Tae-woo's name. In his free time, Lee Goon meticulously analyzed the playing style of a young female player with an old injury. After discussing a rehabilitation plan, they agreed to cooperate. Lee Goon then started his own agency and signed a contract with her. Meanwhile, reminded by hospital leadership, Kyung-Ju-yeon realized she had not yet submitted her research data for a memory erasure trial, which was still in the wrong suitcase taken by Lee Goon. Unsure how to approach Lee Goon for the documents, in desperation, she thought to ask Lee Shin for help. However, Lee Shin was busy competing. Kyung-Ju-yeon then contacted Lee Goon's parents, falsely claiming she urgently needed his identification documents to obtain the password to Lee Goon's house. After searching the large house, she successfully retrieved her suitcase from Lee Goon's small room. As she prepared to leave, she encountered Lee Goon, who had suddenly returned home. Startled, Kyung-Ju-yeon crouched behind the suitcase, but Lee Goon caught her as he entered. Meanwhile, at the tennis court, Lee Shin recalled the words of Kyung-Ju-yeon and Lee Goon. He realized that competing under his parents' expectations was not the life he wanted. With this thought, He interrupted the match and rejected his parents' travel plans, deciding to go home and rest. Unexpectedly, at the intersection, he ran into Se-Yan, who was temporarily staying at Kyung-Ju-Yeon's house. Seeing Li Xin, Se-Yan displayed a meaningful smile. She had attended the last match and vented her frustrations by scribbling on Li Xin's poster with a marker. Now, she deliberately blocked Li Xin's way, hinting at an unusual relationship between them. Kyung-Ju-Yeon planned to secretly leave after retrieving her suitcase, but Lee Goon unexpectedly returned home. Trying to remain calm, she falsely claimed she needed his ID urgently, which is why she rushed over with her suitcase. Lee Goon, flattered, mistakenly thought Kyung-Ju-Yeon was very concerned about him and couldn't help feeling secretly delighted. After finding the ID, Kyung-Ju-Yeon noticed Lee Goon's hands were covered in blisters. She volunteered to treat his wounds and applied a bandage. Lee Goon recognized the pattern on the bandage as the same one from another day and realized Kyung-Ju-Yeon did care about him. This thought made him very happy, and he wished to get closer to her. Kyung-Ju-Yeon didn't want to appear too indifferent. Beyond a doctor-patient relationship, she was willing to be a friend who could listen to his troubles. Lee Goon was overjoyed by this. He vowed to always stand by her side and support her fully. Remembering Lee Goon's sincere and eager look made Kyung-Ju-Yeon feel guilty for using him as a subject in her experiment and for deceiving him. Unaware of this, Lee Goon tried his best to win her favor. He hid a flower behind his back and entered the elevator where Kyung-Ju-Yeon was, but the elevator doors snapped the bud off. Kneeling on one knee, he presented the stem without the bud, quickly adding that Kyung-Ju-Yeon was as beautiful as a flower. Tae-woo and a female colleague were also in the elevator. Disliking Tae-woo, Lee Goon wanted to teach him a lesson and later spread pigeon droppings on Tae-woo's car as revenge for Kyung-Ju-Yeon. Kyung-Ju-Yeon was concerned for Lee Goon's well-being. To protect him and prevent bad memories with acquaintances, she kept him from being discharged from the hospital. However, the small hospital couldn't keep him confined. He often sneaked out in his car. His parents focused all their attention on his younger brother, Li Xin, leaving Lee Goon without their company. Reluctantly, Kyung-Ju-Yeon acted as his temporary guardian and accompanied him on outings. At a crowded racetrack, Kyung-Ju-Yeon stood in the aisle, getting pushed around but stubbornly not moving. Lee Goon took her hand and led her to a less crowded area. Feeling the warmth of his hand, Kyung-Ju-Yeon felt a flicker of warmth in her heart. Lee Goon was at the racetrack to meet an investor to discuss funding his agency. The investor initially didn't want to waste time on Lee Goon, a lesser-known figure, but was impressed by Lee Goon's sharp betting analysis, predicting the winning horse. After the race, when the horse won, the investor was convinced of Lee Goon's insight and agreed to discuss a collaboration further. Curious why Lee Goon didn't just make money from betting on horses and instead chose to be an agent, Kyung-Ju-Yeon learned that his analytical skills were honed from his days as an athlete. He didn't want to use these skills for betting, but rather in fields where they were needed more. They left the racetrack happily. In the car, Lee Goon buckled Kyung-Ju-Yeon's seatbelt for her. As he leaned in, Kyung-Ju-Yeon's heart raced, and it took her a while to calm down. Back at the hospital, Lee Goon wanted to invite Kyung-Ju-Yeon to dinner, but she received a call from Tae-woo and hurried to meet him. Upset, Lee Goon walked away and was stopped by a nurse who secretly needed to examine him, a fact to be kept from everyone, including Lee Goon himself. After being sedated, Lee Goon was about to lose consciousness and saw Tae-woo, worrying that Kyung-Ju-Yeon was foolishly waiting for him. Meanwhile, Kyung-Ju-Yeon had decorated a conference room with heart-shaped petals and confessions taped on the window, all set for Tae-woo's arrival. However, Tae-woo did not show up. Kyung-Ju-Yeon continued to wait and saw Tae-woo walking past the window after work. She wanted to call out to him, but saw him meeting secretly with a female doctor. Tae-woo, a playboy, was dating the doctor and keeping their relationship hidden while leading Kyung-Ju-Yeon on. His lies were meant to make Kyung-Ju-Yeon cover shifts for the doctor, giving them more alone time. Realizing the truth, Kyung-Ju-Yeon rushed back to the conference room, locked the door, and wildly sprayed a fire extinguisher, destroying the decorations. The female doctor accompanied Tae-woo to the conference room, but unwilling to waste more time, she left dissatisfied. Tae-woo had no choice but to follow her advice and did not enter the room. When Lee Goon woke up, he immediately looked for Kyung-Ju-Yeon and saw her upset. Understanding she knew the truth, Kyung-Ju-Yeon, with her pride hurt, stubbornly claimed she had misunderstood, and it wasn't Tae-woo's fault. But Lee-gun insisted on confronting the truth, making Kyung Joo-yeon uncomfortable and causing her to lash out at him, asking him not to bother her anymore. To ensure she could continue treating Lee-gun outside the hospital, Kyung Joo-yeon met with project investors and executives, claiming she had the hospital's approval to treat Lee-gun outside and better observe him. The investors believed her and supported her unconditionally. Due to their presence, the executives had to tacitly agree to her request. Kyung Joo-yeon did this purely to protect Lee-gun from any harm. Still upset about Kyung Joo-yeon's harsh words, Lee-gun adamantly refused her and even tried to physically remove her. Suddenly, a loud thunderclap startled them, and they quickly separated. Kyung Joo-yeon insisted on staying, claiming her phone was dead and appealing to Lee-gun's sympathy. Reluctantly, Lee-gun allowed her to stay in the guest room for the night. Determined to stay close to him, Kyung Joo-yeon decided to change her usual aloof and beautiful doctor persona, dressed casually and voraciously ate takeout food, messily covering her face with sauce. Lee-gun was preoccupied with his newly established sports agency. A female athlete he had collaborated with lost a match due to an injury and failed to make the national team, furiously refusing rehabilitation. Kyung Joo-yeon accompanied Lee-gun and insisted on providing psychological counseling as the team doctor. The athlete, a spoiled young woman, intentionally used complex tennis terminology to confuse Kyung Joo-yeon, then led her to the rehabilitation room and left her hanging there before slipping away. Lee-gun rescued Kyung Joo-yeon and later went home for a family dinner. After hastily finishing his meal, he prepared to leave, which puzzled his family. His parents teased him, wondering if he was supporting a woman outside. Lee-gun awkwardly explained that his first love was a thing of the past and that he was now focused on his work. Lee-gun asked his brother, Lee Shin, if he had stayed home on the day of the incident and was told yes, which made him uneasy. He had seen the car's GPS history showing a trip to the hotel where a class reunion was held. Clearly, Lee Shin was lying. To further investigate his movements, Lee-gun tried to check the dash cam, only to find the memory card missing. In reality, the memory card was hidden by Lee Shin in a safe in his room, along with a medal he had taken from Lee-gun when rescuing him from the water. Back at his place, Kyung Joo-yeon hadn't returned, and Lee-gun, worried, tried calling her but got no response. At that time, Kyung Joo-yeon was drunkenly venting at a bar with Se-yeon, upset over work troubles, Lee-gun's cold attitude, and the failed research project. Se-yeon, supporting a staggering Kyung Joo-yeon, headed to Lee-gun's residence. They lingered at the door and then went to the parking area. Not seeing Lee-gun's car, Kyung Joo-yeon decided to wait there. Se-yeon, concerned for her safety, insisted on staying with her. Exhausted and sleepy, they treated the garage like a big bed and fell asleep. The next morning, a crowd gathered around the two women sleeping in the garage. Lee-gun, notified, came down just as Se-yeon left to buy a hangover drink, leaving Kyung Joo-yeon still asleep. Seeing this, Lee-gun laughed and woke her up. He had to meet investors and didn't have time to deal with Kyung Joo-yeon, who took the opportunity to cling to him until he handed over his keycard. Annoyed by her whining, Lee-gun threw the card at her. Kyung Joo-yeon, achieving her aim, reunited with Se-yeon, and they happily returned home. At the doorstep, Se-yeon mischievously let Kyung Joo-yeon enter first. Inside, she was greeted by her mother waiting in the yard with a broom, ready to scold her for smelling of alcohol. To cheer up Kyung Joo-yeon, Se-yeon gave her a lucky bracelet, hoping it would bring her good fortune. Inspired, Kyung Joo-yeon bought many tennis-related books and sought out Lee-gun and Lee Shin to deepen her understanding of tennis and improve her psychological counseling for the female athlete, hoping to secure her position as the team doctor by Lee-gun's side. Seeing Kyung Joo-yeon's determination, Lee Shin decided to let her experience playing tennis. Kyung Joo-yeon tied her long hair back for convenience and focused on the game. As Lee Shin taught her hands-on, her hair kept hitting his face, which only endeared her more to him. Lee Shin avoided whenever possible and endured when he couldn't. He showed no displeasure and happily played with Kyung Joo-yeon on the tennis court. Meanwhile, Lee-gun was at home, waiting for Kyung Joo-yeon. When the doorbell rang, it was his friend, not her, causing him some disappointment. His friend accidentally discovered women's products in the guest room. Lee-gun hurriedly explained that Kyung Joo-yeon was staying there in her capacity as a team doctor and that there was nothing personal between them. After finally sending his friend away, Lee Goon went to a nearby store to buy a charger for Kyung Ju-yeon. Kyung Ju-yeon returned to the area with Lee Shin and promised to treat him to dinner as thanks for his help that day. Lee Shin cheerfully said goodbye to Kyung Ju-yeon, unaware that a mysterious person had been following them. After they parted, the mysterious person continued to trail Kyung Ju-yeon. As she walked, her high heel got stuck. Lee Goon, nearby, started commenting on Kyung Ju-yeon's situation. Just then, a passerby approached and offered to help, but Kyung Ju-yeon politely declined. After some struggle, she managed to walk normally again. Lee Goon was about to follow her when he noticed someone oddly following her. He trailed behind and soon realized that something was amiss. Kyung Ju-yeon quickened her pace. Lee Goon tried to catch the mysterious person but was shaken off. He continued the chase and tackled the person with a flying kick, discovering it was Tae-woo. Confronted by Lee Goon, Tae-woo claimed he was following Kyung Ju-yeon to find a chance to apologize. He had previously promised to date Kyung Ju-yeon after she returned from abroad but broke his promise by getting involved with the female doctor before her return. Now caught between two women, he felt immense pain. Additionally, Tae-woo wanted to confirm with Lee Goon if Kyung Ju-yeon was indeed his first love. Lee Goon, not wanting to waste words on Tae-woo, left. Back home, Kyung Ju-yeon heard the doorbell and opened the door to find it was Lee Goon and Lee Shin. While they were talking, Lee Goon returned to the doorway and admitted to Lee Shin that Kyung Ju-yeon was his first love. Meanwhile, at the office of Lee Shin's agency, the representative's desk was covered with many photographs taken by paparazzi of Lee Shin, including one from the day of the incident showing Lee Goon and Lee Shin arguing on a bridge.